Hey guys, hi from Chiang Mai, and tonight we're gonna check out the nightlife in Chiang Mai. Gonna see how it's changed over more than a decade now. All right, let's get into it. We're gonna check out the most infamous bar area. It's like a group of bars on a square in the old town part of Chiang Mai. It's been there for quite a number of years. It was there like about 13 years ago when I was here, and after that later on, and yeah, I'm not sure if it was here more than 20 years ago, but someone might want to say something in the comments about that. It would be good to know. This sounds like more fun. Okay, more live music. Great. And of course the convenient 7-Eleven, mandatory. And I passed a couple other bars going from my guest house to the bar area where we just started, where they had live music as well. And one of the places had very nice slide guitar playing, and I think it was a Westerner playing with a small Thai group, maybe a trio or something like that. But yeah, he was smoking. Serious. Very cool. Here's another one that's notorious, actually, spicy. And spicy used to be, I see they've got live music tonight as well. That's interesting. Normally it's a nightclub, but it's much bigger now. It used to be around the corner. I think it was the corner on the left here, just a little bit inside the block there. And now it's a 3-shop house building, but it was a single shop house building. And that was the really, whoa, that was the really getting down place, you know, down and dirty. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that was the place with the shady ladies and all kinds of shady people, and yeah. But I haven't heard glowing reports of it recently, since I've checked in again on what's up with that place. But it obviously, yeah, they've moved it, they've upgraded it, it's bigger. It's the same place, I think, because the reviews from Google Maps seem to indicate same setup, but just they moved it slightly. So yeah, where we started out, you saw they had a bunch of bars, and some of them definitely got the lowdown on the hoedown. People getting pretty wasted there. This corner is interesting as far as like late night eating, and you can grab a few drinks along here. There used to be a really popular reggae bar that was way back in like 2003. That seemed like the most popular bar actually in Chiang Mai at the time. I think it was here in this building, or not sure exactly, but it might have been in this building. But I thought it definitely had it upstairs, so it might have been one of the next buildings. But I think that was not here when I came about 12 years ago. Oh, this looks interesting. Okay, thank you then. All right. Yeah. Looks good, very nice, very classy place, I'm sure. Respectable. Okay, so that's a new thing as far as I'm concerned anyway. Having not been here for 7 years, that's a new thing. Some kind of, looks like an Asian style club, like hostess type thing, like they have in Saigon, for example. Surprising to see that here. Well, we are not that far from China up here. Maybe it came from influence from that direction. Who knows? So Chiang Mai, you know, it's like infamous if you read up on it and you read a little bit into the old early days of backpacking and stuff. Infamous as an opium den of iniquity, but also place to get out into nature. Still is all right for the nature, of course. It's got lots of nature, but I think the opium dens don't really exist anymore. So hello. Hanging out outside of Tha Phae Gate was the nighttime scene for me 12 odd years ago. Very odd years indeed, actually. Definitely and definitively odd. So we used to make drum circle here and guitars and stuff, and it was really fun. Drink a bit and maybe smoky times. Smoke gets in your eyes, something like that, a little bit sometimes. And yeah, really nice times. Doesn't seem like any musicians there tonight, but it's getting a bit later. So the pub complex where we started out apparently officially closes at midnight, and then for some reason, I'm sure nothing to do with brown envelopes, people then head over to Spicy, the other place I showed you that was pretty quiet, and that place then becomes absolutely packed out and crazy until I think about 2 a.m. Basically midnight until 2. It's like heaving, packed out. Maybe before midnight, depends on the like phase of the moon and stuff like that, I suppose. I don't know, it depends on a lot of stuff, like when people get paid their paycheck or whatever, you know, many things like that. But on the other side of the moat, where the old town is, you get a nice little sprinkling of bars along there, and a few of them can get kind of fun sometimes, definitely more laid back style though. And if you go back in the little soys behind on that side, there are various little bars tucked away in there, some with pool tables and so on, where you can get a good game of pool or whatever, and some of the staff there seem pretty friendly. Interesting. This one's called Spicy and Lucky. Now I remember. Zoe in Yellow was not the name of the club up here. It was called Lucky. That's what it was called. So maybe it's merged into that place now. I don't know. Now we're coming up on a very famous nightlife area in Chiang Mai. pretty much the original nightlife area as far as foreigners are concerned. So you can read the name on the sign there. I won't say the name myself. You guys can read it. This is a family holiday type video, of course. Okay. Hello. Hello. So obviously you could have some fun in here if you're so inclined. Hello. And if you've got sore feet or other bits, you can get them rubbed and all that stuff over here. So I've read up on this area from way before my time. It used to be pretty raunchy back in the old days when the hill tribes used to still have the opium flowing around, and Chiang Mai was pretty out of control back then, on a small scale, but you know, it was out of control. And this area and the streets around it were pretty infamous, much more than now. So you see it with a few places in Thailand, of course. The old Vietnam War generation who came to live in these kinds of small cities or big towns in Thailand after the Vietnam War, because a lot of them wouldn't go home, right? They didn't want to go home, or they went home for a while and they didn't like it because the war did something to them. And then they came back, a lot of them came back to Asia, to Thailand, and ended up meeting local women, marrying, and living the rest of their lives in a small town like Chiang Mai, for example, or Udon Thani, or Ubon Ratchathani, or many other ones as well. So that generation are starting to pass away now, some of them, and some of them would have come into ill health and given up on this country and gone back to America, where the social benefits might be easier to use or access. Hello, hi. Hello. Thank you. Yeah, so the thing is, the demographic has changed. So this street would have been the center of action, and it was about like the old Vietnam vets, and then the waves of backpackers coming in from the 60s and 70s through to the 80s, and then starting to be a bit with the kind of people who heard about it second or third hand and found out it's not like too dangerous. Hello. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. Nice bar. Paradise. This must be just like living in, not paradise, but okay, yeah. It's my tribute to Eddie Van Halen. A bit late there, sorry Eddie. Thanks for all the great guitar playing though. The music and the bits that were not exactly music, but they were still like pretty exciting for guitar virtuosity. Hello. Smoke it up, smoke it up. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Actually, there's a lot more action, nightlife and stuff going on here on this street than I've ever seen it. So that's talking about, I guess, about 7 years ago, and about 12 years ago, and then way back into 2003 even. Yeah, even back in 2003. not as good. And this is very interesting to me because I'm like a kind of student of cultures, all types of stuff with that. It's all interesting. Hello. Very interesting. So, hello. Very, very interesting. It's come back to life. When I started to spend more time in Thailand, that's back around like 2011, that was like around before they had the coup, and then after they had the coup, and that time things changed a lot up in the north and the northeast of Thailand with nightlife stuff. And from what I heard, and I don't know if it's true, but from what I heard, apparently a lot of the nightlife barons of the north and northeast were involved with the wrong political grouping, let's say. So there was a crackdown on nightlife type stuff, and it's a tuk-tuk, wow. And a lot of nightlife places were closed down, and apparently it really killed off a quite thriving nightlife scene in many of the small cities. Hello. So, but yeah, it's hello. So there are a few people around, but it's low season actually. This is very interesting though. It must be heaving in high season these days in Chiang Mai. You never know what they're up to around this neighborhood. Look at that. That woman's even had a baby. Look at that. She's even had a baby there. So, you know, like I said, you never know what they're up to. All kinds of tricks going on. Have to watch yourself. Don't want to get in trouble. See, there's a few bars down the side here. This is a lot more lively than I've ever seen it in Chiang Mai, actually. I think I remember there was a disco down there in the past that was pretty boring. Okay guys, thanks for coming along on the nightlife walk with me around Chiang Mai. So hit the subscribe and hit like and hit the bell buttons if you haven't already, and drop us a comment. Would love to hear from you. And see you in the next one, and don't be too late.